Right, so hello everyone. Welcome to Friday night, which means PRF1. We are round three of the season, which can only mean, well, no, I don't know what it can only mean, but it does mean that it's Monaco. Hello, Matthew. Thanks for joining, and and everybody else that's joined already. Thank you very much. Um, yeah, we're at Monaco, so enjoy the full qualifying. They're probably the laps that we'll get to see where they actually get round, and then the race probably be a huge sort of mangle of crashes. Now, hopefully it won't, but we are supposed to have a full grid. Oh no, I think we got 19. Unfortunately, I think Grittas had to pull out last minute because he's got a migraine, so couldn't do it. Hey Ollie, and thank you very much, my friend. So then, well, Monaco. What can we say about Monaco? What are people? I mean, it's sort of renowned as the jewel in the crown, if you like, is the one every driver wants to win. But in my opinion, as a spectator of the sport, somebody who loves the sport, I genuinely wish they'd actually get rid of the race off the calendar um, for real life, as it's just don't find it very interesting. Oh, thank you, Matthew. Always watch WAF. First so much in this league. They're actually closely linked, the two leagues, actually, Matthew, in a way. They don't have a partnership, but they do feature some of the same drivers, but they all know each other. I could tell you that all the WAOF1 guys and PRF1 guys all know each other, basically, pretty much. So and have at some point raced in leagues together. So who knows? There could be a some sort of partnership struck up in the future. We'll have to see. Oh, how many do I think of finish? That's such a difficult question. I know in this league it will be more than you expect. Um, I will go 16. I know that's a high amount. We could lose four in turn one, but hopefully we won't. Hopefully we'll avoid the turn one instance and that. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, I'm gonna go with 16. I think that's a good number. But yeah, back to what I was saying about Monaco. Yeah, as a real life spectator of the sport, lover of the sport, been watching over 30 years. Been watching Formula One. I know I don't sound young enough, old enough, do I? But yeah, Hilly Willy says, well, hey, well, nice to hear from you as always. And yeah, but it's never ever been a race. I have to say, still been some of the greatest performances I've ever seen in Formula One at Monaco. Taking, I don't know any of you guys will remember this, but Senna winning in the absolute tipping down rain was monsoon rain was probably right up there, one of the greatest performances in Formula One. Um, Schumacher in 2012 picking up pole position, his final ever pole position, was a great performance as well. Watching him make changes on his steering wheel while he's driving around swimming pool and stuff like that, it's just ridiculous. But hey, there we go. Anyway, this is much more important, of course. Look at that. Well, your league's our league now, actually, because I'm admin now. Our league has been mentioned already in the chat. Look at that. A couple above your comment. Look, mentioned before I could. Right, here we go to Q1 then. I have absolutely no idea what to expect the cut-off time to be. I suspect for Q1 it's going to be quite high, but looking at the list of drivers, we haven't. It's a pretty fast field, really, and a very close field, so it's hard to know. I think the cut off in Q1 will be in the 112s. I'm going to say that, but it's really, I mean, it's a complete guess. I'm not going to lie to you, it's just a complete guess. I don't really know. It's quite possible we might lose 5 drivers. You can't see that well. Oh, yeah, Matthew has said, first time watching this league, Hilly. Always watch WAOF1, he says. So, it's raining. It is raining for quali. It doesn't look very heavy. I think we may see slick tyres to start. Oh no, they're all showing intermediates, but the track looks dry even though it is raining. Let's somebody's heading on out, so it's Lennon out first. Nice to see Lennon on track. Can't see him for a while. Coming in and reserving today. Now the track out there actually looks a bit wetter, doesn't it? See the sort of glistening effects from the rain. So yeah, I think I'm not 100% convinced. I wonder if a set of softs could actually still do a job here, you know, on this track. But problem is, you go out on a set of softs and you don't get a good time in, and if it's getting wetter all the time, by the time you get an intermediate lap in, it may maybe too late. You may find that the track's too slow then. So there we go. Oh, operator says he thinks it's going to be 114, so I think it's probably going to be slower than that now. It's raining, so we'll never know if my prediction was going to be right or not. But let's enjoy this for what it is, because well, what do you guys watching think? Do you want to see the rain in the race as well, or are you happy just for qualifying? I don't know. I quite like to see it, but I don't think the drivers want it, let's be honest, apart from 1 or 2. I know Spreader quite fancies it. As always, we stick with the driver that is first out on track. Always do that to see what will hopefully be the first time on the board. I don't think there's going to be any heroics from any of the drivers on their first attempts. Just get round, get a time on a board, because you might find come the end that it's good enough. That's a laugh, actually. One of the, not the last race I did here at Monaco, but one of the last races I did here, myself actually driving. It was full qualifying, and we qualified through Q1, but that many people, well, it was a full grid. You had 20 drivers and 10 drivers retired in Q1. So, yeah, basically 10 drivers crashed out in Q1, so we went out in Q2 with 10 drivers left already through. It was great fun. And that was in a dry. Insane track. Anyway, Lennon crosses the line, 23-0. We've got no idea at the moment if that's competitive. As I said, I think to start with, most drivers will be being a little bit careful and just getting a time on the board, because, as I say, just getting a time on the board may well be good enough. Shaz may have been listening to me and put softs on. It's a bit early yet. Yeah, I think I agree, Matthew. Just give a Math a chance, I suppose, and keep it dry for the race. Spriggs then goes 120.3 and P1 for the moment. It's definitely faster than anybody else so far, but let's say early doors. Dark Mark looking good as well. Sergeant Kamarov 120.10. Oh, just about caught that. But, seems to be okay. It's Dark Mark just having a little moment. So, I wonder with Shaz sitting there, is that because they're actually expecting the track to dry up? It is raining. It is still raining. It's not gone off the rain. I think if I was Shaz, I'd get out on track and get some laps in just in case it doesn't go dry enough. But I don't know. It starts. They know better than me, the drivers, because they can see that what the weather's expected to do. Nicely done from Shrek. A little bit surprised that didn't invalidate. Actually, as Greza goes fastest, 19.6. We've already seen in the races so far that Greza looking very handy this season already, and it's oh, we'll drive into the pits, wouldn't you, after watching a whole lap. Yeah, Greza's been looking very handy this season. Won in Bahrain. Had to start from the back in Spain because well, he wasn't supposed to be racing, and then somebody didn't turn up, so he took their seat. But because of that, he had to start from the back. Well, not because of that. That's not the reason why he had to start. He had to start from the back because we allowed the driver Q1 to be able to make it in, but they didn't. So Greza took the car, but didn't have enough time to complete a lap, basically. So his Daldy seems to be lagging about a bit at the moment, and I think it's P10 anyway, Daldy, so a good start. I often think it's myself that's lagging, but you know Daldy does struggle sometimes with connection. Let's hope that doesn't continue tonight. So it could be a problem around this track. But Lord. So 12 drivers, laps on the board. There's 2 drivers now sat in the pits with soft tyres on. So again, they're clearly expecting it to dry up. And maybe that lap from Kamarov suggests that it is drying. Or it could just be that, having done a few laps now, he's gotten used to it well enough that he's able to go a bit quicker. The problem with these conditions is sometimes you watch the others out on track and you think, yeah, it's getting quicker now, the times are getting quicker, should be ready for slicks. Actually, the drivers are just getting better because they're getting used to the conditions. Got to be a bit careful. I don't think the improvement's good enough yet for Sos to go on. I really do. Personally, I would be getting some laps in on the inters. I don't. Unless they are absolutely positive that it's going to dry up in time. I wouldn't want to be coming out at the end on inters just with 1 lap or 2 laps to do it on. Who else we've got? There's an Alpha coming round. Who's that? That is Atkins. That was invalidated. Was going faster though, improved by just over, well, almost 4.5 tenths. That's obviously invalidated the lap. Stick with him for this one. So at some point, I'll only do a hilly hot lap with one of the drivers. So hopefully I don't pick a driver that's listening to the stream at the same time. That'd be crash, bang, wallop. Oh, Mr. Whale, you legend. Thank you ever so much. We don't have to do Monaco, do we? You've got to understand, well, I will crash. It's not maybe, I might, or if, or buts, or anything like that. It is definitely I will crash. You have to tell me who to take out at the same time, I suppose, for that one. And you guys get to do it in WAF1 as well. Superb, as Greza now goes fastest. And now the times are coming down a bit. So Greza 18.3. That's a significant change. So dries. Well, those guys at the top in a dry will be doing 110s, but I suspect that actually in time trial they're 109s, I would imagine, those guys at the top. But for qualifying for a race, I would imagine 110s. So another completed lap coming up from Dark Lord, and improves by 9 tenths. That puts him into P4 for the moment. So it looks like this track is continuously developing as Ollie is flying up to P3 there with an 18.9. Yeah, so the track is developing all the time. The question just remains, will it get dry enough? This part of the circuit's bone dry. Having little drips off the bottom of the cars and stuff, but bone dry through the tunnel. Oh, that would be a validation, I think, that one from Trek. Let's go to this man. I don't know too much about our other Red Bull. The Mayor Jug. The Mayor Jug. I'm just going to call him Jug. Oh, and Matthew. Thank you very much, Matthew. Legend. Need one more to hit me goal now. Yay. Only a few weeks away. Oh, superb. Thanks, well. So I doubt you know, Matthew, me and Well are teammates on a Monday night, in a Monday night league together. And, well, I'll just say that we're top of the constructors because, you know, we're a legendary team, of course, but one is seriously outperforming the other, I must admit. So I'll leave you to decide who that is, Matthew. Just to confirm there, because it could be a little bit confirming on the standings. Kamarov isn't top, having done his lap on softs. He sat in the pits on softs, but his fastest lap was set with intermediates. Still got rain on a camera lens, and it's one of those, we've still got rain on the camera lens. I can't see any rain. It's not always easy to spot on the game, quite frankly. Are any of the soft jars coming out? Atkins is on an out lap. Oh, actually, Dre, I think, has started a lap, so let's have a look. Hit the barrier in turn 1. (28.223) for Monaco. Oh, goodness me. I'll just tell you then, Matthew, it is well. He has actually won. We've only done 2 races so far. He's actually won both in Australia and Canada. So I've had a 4th place. And I can't remember what it was last week now. I think it was 9th. 8th or 9th. But I did freely admit before the race that Canada's ride-up was one of my worst tracks, to be fair, so I was kind of expecting it. I couldn't believe myself in a race last night at Silverstone. I qualified 5th on the grid. And I was 0.083 off a pole. And yet I qualified 5th. That's unbelievable. In a way, that's a good marker then from Dre. He's shown, basically, that the track is ready for slick tyres. The only problem right now is people are putting times in on the slicks already. It's 4 minutes worth of track development yet. What do they call it on a telly? Track? Evolution, isn't it? Track evolution. Here's another man. Right, I'm going to go with the hilly hot lap for this one. So, head over the line, DRS open into turn 1. Can be a deceptive turning point on turn 1, but if you get it right like that, it can really take you flying up the hill. Left-hander, sort of double apex left-hander, difficult, but you must get that right to set yourself up for the right-hander. down to this hairpin, usually taken in second. Maybe short shift out of here, just get a bit of extra traction. Down to first for the hairpin. One of very few first gear corners on the whole calendar. Take plenty of curb. Don't hit the inside like that on that one. Again, obviously, the whole of Monaco is basically about your exits of the corners. You must get good exits around the whole track. Pretty famous chicane now, very easy to invalidate around here. It's taking a little bit wide from Spriggs, but he wants to get the time on the board on the soft tyres, and then through this tight, winding, difficult, comes so close to the barriers on every corner. And through the final corner, again out the final corner, if you're a no traction driver like myself, then it can be slippy. Well, in fact, the old track can be slippy, quite frankly, if you're a no traction driver. But a decent lap from Spriggs puts him in P2 for the moment. But as we said, it's going to keep evolving, and there's every chance at the moment that the last driver over the line could end up being the fastest, as the Ferrari gets out of the way. Shaz, who's already up into was 5, now 6. Davis has gone into P2. Big D first at the moment. So let me hit about 120, something like that. The guys that are going across the line then are going across it just about the right point. Oh, that was lag on my screen. Thank goodness for that. Cammy sets the latest provisional pole time. Yeah, he is, Matthew, to be fair, but look, it's only 2 races. I'll get him, don't you worry, I'll get him. He hasn't retired yet. He usually retires a good sort of 30% of the races, whereas I don't, you see. I'll catch up, don't you worry. But being my teammate, of course, I don't want him to retire. Just saying he does. So Shaz heads to the line. Why didn't anybody tell me that I forgot to? Oh no, I didn't forget to do anything. So Shaz goes fastest, 1:12.2. Another driver heading for the line, way up on the previous time. 8.5 second improvement. Look at that. And into P4. Dawdy, why are you in the pits? What's happened to Dawdy? He's chosen to start from the back? This is one great thing about these sorts of sessions. Anybody can get through. There's no real hierarchy in these sessions. You normally see all Gumba's gone into P15 and he didn't make it across the line. Lennon has pitted. No, Dawdy's not on a lap. So it's only one driver. Change things potentially. Which I think that car. Yeah, into the pits comes operator. So it looks like. No, Gumba hasn't made it. He's down to 16. Who? So who jumped up then? Oh goodness me, I've got absolutely no idea. Anyway, we are going to lose Gumba, Lennon, operator, and Dawdy Car. We might have 1 or 2 drivers still on a lap. Ollie and Robbo potentially. Cammy goes fastest. As you can see the track very close. By the time we start Q2, the track should be bone dry by the looks of it. So a bit of early fun at Monaco. That is everybody now. We're just waiting for Spreader to be pushed in, which he has been. So thank you, Matthew. There we have it. Qualifying 1, top 15 through. So those are the guys. I'm not going to read through the whole lot, but because it's mainly about these guys down here. So we're going to lose Goomba, Lennon, Operator, and Dawdy Kaka. Not sure why Dawdy didn't come out on a set of softs. Maybe chose to start from the back. Maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, would it, in Monaco, to start from the back? Potential to miss the carnage. The only problem with it, of course, is it's really, well, next to, well, we all know, don't we? It's nearly impossible to make overtakes around here. So, there we have it. But anyway, I think then the rest of qualifying is going to be dry. It's going to be normal service resumed. I think we had, somebody did ask what I thought pole position was going to be tonight, and I said I think mid to high tens, but others said no, they're expecting at least low tens, but they don't think we'll see a 109. But you never know. It only takes the one driver to absolutely hook the lap up. So obviously it's hard, but it does only take the one driver to hook the lap up, and good to see. Yeah, you were fine, Big D. Absolutely fine, but absolutely flew through. Don't you worry. I think that's Big D actually coming out, and but he's not first out. So look at those three hugging each other. Are they stuck together? Oh no, they're not stuck together. Look. Who was the driver first out then? Definitely saw someone. Is it Alpine? Williams. Okay, start mark. So do that bit a bit. Yeah, did Now it used to be that you could actually guarantee no safety cars at Monaco, because they, I don't know whether it was a glitch or deliberately done by Codemasters, but it used to be that Monaco didn't bring out safety cars on, well, at least on online races. I don't know about career mode and that. Don't really bother with that anymore. But, yeah, but I have had some people more recently telling me that they did get safety cars at Monaco, so right, sorry, let's go to the onboard cam because it's I don't know, it's just better, isn't it, particularly for this track, I think. It is, Mr. Well. Do you like the Williams? I did a patch to really up the Williams straight line speed like they were towards the end of the season. I believe they still got one more patch to do in terms of car speeds and that, and driver updates, all that sort of thing. Decent lap so far from Darkmark in its final corner. Quite honestly, I could take you around the track telling you why I hate each corner around here, but the amount of times I've hit the wall on that final corner. Oh, I know we all have, but Darkmark in a way gets us started with a 112.3. Robbo has invalidated his first lap. Shrek's all the way down there. So I'm not reaching the drivers. McLaren's. It's one of the McLaren's. Wally across the line, 112.3. That puts him P2 for the moment, but that P2 is ahead of Spreader, Big D, Atkins. All completed laps as well as Dark Lord. Spriggs now goes fastest in the other McLaren. Sergeant Kamarov also across the line, goes P2. Bear in mind, I guess they're probably using the set of softs that they used at the end of Q1, mind you, at the moment. Messages disappeared. Why'd your messages disappear? I can see them still. Yeah, I can confirm, Matthew. He didn't reply. He's so... Oh, well, just rude, really, isn't it? Anyway, sorry. I'm neglecting my duties on the actual screen. I'm chatting to you two. Cammy, look. Doing what Cammy does. Who do you think for pole tonight? I think Cammy is generally favourite choice, although Greza is qualifying this week and I wouldn't be shocked. Last time I saw PRF1 race around here, by the way, Greza took an absolutely superb victory by... Well, it was done on strategy. He did it in the pits. He was stuck behind, I think it was Spreader, for basically the whole race. Before going the opposite way on the pit stops and getting the jump on him, basically. He did the overcut. I think it was, I mean, I'm sure it was the overcut, and got the jump on Spreader, and Spreader just could not get back past. I think it was Spreader anyway, because I think Hambo was driving that night actually, so it could have been Hambo. Indeed, yeah. Yeah, well, that is a good point actually. Still waiting for Hockenheim. I noticed you didn't say Vietnam as well. But, yeah, they were supposed to be coming. I'm sure it was an end of November patch. And, we're halfway through January, just over halfway through January, and still ain't got them. Never. We'll probably get them a month before the next game, and then you'll have to wait until the following February or something to get them again. Alright, Mayor Jug, 12.3 puts him in P8 for now. So, great. So near full stop. Chaz heads for the line. 111 flat. 111.070. Now we're doing it. Now we're getting down there. That's nice from Shaz. Yeah, I must admit, in Spain last week, if you guys did... Well, for those of you that did watch Spain last week, it was... Shaz showed some great pace. It wasn't until I think had a little bit of contact or a moment off a curb and unfortunately dropped down the order, but was fighting right at the front until then. Track is 27 degrees at the moment. Okay. I don't know what that means. I mean, I do know what it means. I know what I know what it means, but I don't know what it means. Isn't it the hotter the track, the more grip you got, but the quicker the tyres deteriorate? I don't really know. I don't really know. No good asking me. I know I'm supposed to know these things. I need one of those. See, I'm the Murray Walker guy. You need the I need a, you know, one of the F1 geeks to be next to me who can tell us everything. I go to them for the technical stuff. That's what you should do, well. You should come and be my F1 geek. Atkins goes across then, P7 for Alfa Romeo. Still early days in this session, 6.5 minutes still to go. Oh, it's dragging. There's a lap from one of our favourites then, so let's see where he can go this time. Just missed the sector time then, but showing purple on the track map, so I presume it's a good first sector time. We could tunnel once more. A bit easier through the tunnel now. The correct tyres on. Was it years ago I was watching Monaco and just saw a Renault. I can't remember if they were called Renault then or whether it's still Benetton, but I don't know actually. But I'm pretty sure the driver was Giancarlo Fisichella, who just come flying out the tunnel completely the wrong direction. And, well, let's just say it this way, there wasn't much left of the car by the time he stopped. Spread across the line and away goes P2 through the moment. And the Alpine down to one of the others to the right then now. Into the pits then for Davis, currently sat in P13. So at the moment, drivers in trouble at the moment are Jug, Big D, Davis, Dark Lord and Dre. But quite frankly, at the moment, Sergeant Kamarov in P6 on a 112.0 and down at the moment are the ones that sort of look like they're in trouble. And I don't think you'd really say that Spriggs and Shrek are out of that at the moment. For me, I think the top three are probably safe, but so hard to know, isn't it? Yeah, kind of well, but you know, not well hilly, but hilly well. Both ones, you know. And Dark Lord into the pits then. So we just watched that for no reason. Dre. So I've just noticed what you've asked. Matthew, could I just confirm for you, well isn't coming on to you with that strange question he's asking you. He's it was yeah, we had to think. We were doing a predictions thing for the league, and rather than just saying who do you think will win the championship, I said right at the end, just ask that question. It was a bit of fun. Put that question on. So, if you could be an animal, what animal would you be and why? This man starts another lap. So, getting to the business end of the session now. We're inside the last 3 minutes. Of course, that's time enough for a good couple of laps around here at Silverstone. Off into the tunnel. Looked like a decent lap so far to me. Oh, that's an invalidation. Turned in way too early. Say way too early. At Monaco, you're talking a tenth of a second being way too early. Not, you know, it's not as if he's missed it by that much. But clearly winding up to go again, as it looks like Dark Market as well. Big D was up in set to 1. It's looked good to me, and I think this is going to put him safe. I think Big D's going to go safe for this lap. Here he comes, goes fast. It's the first driver into the 110s. 110 and 969. He's going to be happy with that, Big D. And through he goes. So yeah, let's go to he's here. Grezza's immediately taking it off him, but with 110.8. But doesn't matter. I'm confident for Big D that will be safe. So, a nice end to the lap there from Atkins, and he does nick a little bit of time. But he's going to have to go again with very low energy here. He's just dropped down to P12. Somebody else did jump up. It's like Dark Lord's actually winding up for another lap. So, make it? Yeah, it does make it. Oh, easily 15 seconds to go yet. So, see if we can spot somebody up at the moment. Early in the lap, actually. What about... So he's right at the start of the lap. Okay. Ideally, I'd like to be with these guys that are a bit further down. See Atkins improving again. Through sets of 1. Still improving through sets of 2, but he is going to... Despite being low on energy, he is going to need to find a significant amount of lap time. Would even move ahead of his teammate. Let's see what he can manage in the end. Yeah, he did manage to get in 200s, which, considering how low his energy was across the line for that lap, is a really good effort. So, great attempt, Atkins. Unlucky not to improve by more. I think if you'd have had the energy at the start of the lap, you probably would have been battling to get through there. Dre. And the Mayor, really close in fact. If I look behind us, looks like Mayer's gone into the pits actually, so that's going to see him out, and Dre clearly out here, so that'll be it. It's the moment where you realise, it's Monaco and I'm starting right in the middle of the field. Ouch. Just got to wait for Cammy and Jug to be pushed into the pits. And once they are, we'll move on. But we will be losing then Davis in P11. So close, just a 10th away from getting through. But Shrek just about keeps him out. And so yeah, Davis, Dre, Atkins, Dameyer, Jug, and Dark Lord are the drivers that will be losing from Q2. Meaning that Shrek, Spriggs, Robbo Snipes, Dark Mark, Master Spread, Ollie Champ, Shaz, Sergeant Kamarov, Big D, and Greza will progress to the pole position shootout. What's your predictions time-wise then, guys? I'm sure they'll still gain some more, and yeah, my prediction earlier on today was a mid to high 110, but somebody else immediately came and said it'd be low 110. So, I think that was Ollie, actually. I think that was Ollie Champ that said that to me. So, let's see if he's right. And there's the instance for Q2. Hello, Rocket Reed. Thank you for joining, mate. Hey, operator. Oh, dear. No, Davis, I've not downloaded COD yet. I just, I know I said I don't know. I'm not a COD player. I don't generally play those sorts of games. Although I did play Paladins. I do like Paladins, but I don't play it anymore. I've missed quite a few comments here. Sorry, Matthew, you'd be an elephant. Is that so you could have a big trunk? Shaz. Get yourself out there, Shaz. Yeah, Matthew, of course, yeah, because they're pretty cool and you have great memories. I'm sure that's why you want to be an elephant. Yeah, you just want the big trunk. Yeah, see, trunks are pretty awesome. Actually, Matthew, could I just enlighten you? Whale's first choice was not a whale. His first choice was a unicorn, which I had to explain to him don't actually exist. Um, his first choice was to be a unicorn because they're the animal of Scotland, even though he's not Scottish. It's just a bit strange as well. And, what did operator say? Operator gave me a an animal as well. Operator would be a dolphin. They like to get high on pufferfish venom, do they? And they have sets for fun. Yeah, they can be quite violent about it as well. All these people that go swimming with dolphins, they don't understand what they can be like. If they get a bit horny, they will actually pretty much drown you to have sex with you. A bit like me, really. I just love oozers. Just love me, oozers. Of course I did, yeah. Matthew, I did break it gently. I think it was, I think I did, didn't I? No, wait, where are we? Oh, Robbo has had a little spin in the final sector. A little reset to track there. May well get in trouble for that. Not allowed to use the reset to track option, not even at Monaco. Although Spreader and well, I don't know, the not just Spreader. I was going to say Spreader and Grezza, but it's just all the admins and the stewards and that may look a bit differently on it in qualifying maybe to what you would in the race because effectively he's just tried to get out. He's just got out of the way of anybody else that would be coming round. So I'm not. I wouldn't be too worried about that. Right, let's go on board. So far then, Sergeant Kamarov is fastest on a 110.599. Big DP2 also in the 110s, but then we go into the 111s for Spriggs and Shrek, followed by Master Spread in P5 at the moment. I'll tell you what, really, we had some rain. We had rain in Q1. That's right, Matthew. What a way to go. Drowned by horny dolphins. Oh, I love this. I love this. You guys have got to tune in every week. Keep me entertained, please. Oh, and the racing keeps me entertained. Of course it does, but not P3 110.6 for Shaz. Grezza's gone fastest on a 110.5 as well. I think that's it for our first runs. We got Robbo. We saw have a little spin. Doesn't look like Dartmark's come out, and Ollie as well. So perhaps looking to save tyres. Strategies could be interesting around here. There are different ways of going around Monaco in the sense that if you're a bit further down, you might prefer to pit early in order to be able to get a sort of undercut on drivers at the top somewhere. But those a bit further down, it's really strange actually. The ones further down the order might start on the softer compound, a soft or a medium set, probably mediums. I don't think softs are particularly useful around here. Unless there's a really late safety car. And even then, even if there's a late safety car, you've got to, you know, is it really worth pitting and losing the places because you can't get through anywhere? It's a hard choice in that sense. But yeah, so it can be a bit strange in the sense that the guys further back might start on the medium, say, and move to the hards, whereas the guys at the front might do the opposite. So we'll have to see. Absolutely, operator. You're so far. I know we're only 2 races in WAOF1, but for me, so far, I think you're the most improved driver of the season so far, and hopefully you keep going. Hilly, you're in trouble. Why am I in trouble? Oh, you've told Oozers, haven't you? You've told Oozers that I said unicorns aren't real. Well, did me dirtier than did you. It is, isn't it? You said, what have you done? Well, you've already look. You've already been in trouble with me today. Do you really want to be in more? You've literally been in the doghouse all day, up till about an hour and a half before race time. You're gonna. God, what have you done? Oh, thanks, operator, for the link to the dolphins purposely getting high on pufferfish. Oh, thank you for that. Um, absolutely no idea what that is. Well, I'm not tapping something you've supplied. I don't know where it take me. That's what we all tuned on for. Wait for what is it? I'm gonna have to click it. What is it? Oh, it's taking you to. What did I say? Has that got something to do with the horny dolphins? I can't listen to that while I'm doing commentary. I'll have to wait until after. Feel bad. Oh, it must be really bad if you feel bad. Despite the horny dolphins, it's genuinely true, by the way. I don't care what anybody says, it is true. Dolphins will go nuts to try and have sex with you. And they will drown you. People think that dolphins are nice just because they look like they got smiles on their face. They're evil bastards. I'm telling you. Right then. Somebody, sorry, let's just nip to Mark because he's started his hot lap. You got me all worried now, well. Put me right off. Yeah, not much to say really. We're just watching these guys' final runs. This man didn't do a run in the first part of Q3. Right, so Dark Mark through the final corner, heads to the line. Can he take pole? It's 1:11. Where's my time's gone? Sorry, let's get these up. I've lost it all now. 1:11.9 puts Dark Mark into P8. Let's go to Spreader, I think was next. Wow, he threw that across curb then. So he wasn't improving through sector 2. He's used his full deploy for the lap, but does improve, but only moves up to one place to P6 for the moment. Let's go to, there is a Red Bull coming across the line. That's Shrek who's gone into P5, not Spreader down to 7. Tauri just crossed the line. I think that was Robert going on to a lap actually. Spriggs then heads to the line and improves and goes into P6, or stays P6 I should say. Really struggling to see who's on a lap and who's not at the moment. What's going on? Reza here, we've got Big D just ahead. Looks to me like we caught Big D quite a lot, so I think he may have backed out of his lap. So Big D cross line, yeah, it doesn't improve. And Greza cross line goes fast, it's 110.3. This is Spreader having another go, doesn't improve. Moves on to another lap, but he's invalidated in turn 1. That's not ideal for him. The Alpha Tauri coming round again. This is Robbo. Complete his lap 111.8 will put him P9. This is Cammy heading for the line. What can he do? He's improving, and it's a 110.187. I think Ollie wins the predictions. 13 thousandths is not far off, Ollie. Good shout on the predictions. Of course, you're on track, so don't worry about that too much. Shaz, who's also improving significantly. And, only improved by 7 thousandths in the end. But was 3 tenths up through the second sector. So Shaz was on for P2 then. If they'd have managed to keep the improvements going. What a shame, but still, P3 brilliant from Shaz, and Big D P4 as well. And I think then, yeah, that is it. So, excitement comes to an end. And well done to Sergeant Kamarov. A very well-earned pole position tonight. Very well-earned. Ollie, absolutely superb on his prediction of 110.2, just 13 thousandths of a second off. And Reza P2 on a 110.3. Took it all the way. Shaz, though, was on for P2 when they went through the second sector of their last lap, but lost it in the final sector. But still, as I say, a very good P3. Big D 4th, Shrek 5th, Spriggs 6th, Master Spread in a surprising 7th. But we'll see what he does in the race. It's not so easy, of course, to make your way up around here like you would at other tracks. But we'll have to see how he gets on. May have to have a little think about his strategy, perhaps. Dark Mark P8, Robbo P9, Ollie in P10. Didn't get a time on the board in the last section. Probably celebrating his victory in the predictions. And forgot to complete a lap. Incidents, next to nothing there, look, for that session. Right, guys, as always, we're going to go into the race. There will be a quick break. I think the drivers probably need it after all that. So we're going to have a quick race. And we're going to have a quick race. We're going to have a quick break. So it'll be about 4 or 5 minutes, I suspect. Yeah, very true, operator, actually, about ducks. I agree. Yeah, and they've got... this is so going to be... And this is going to end up being Wells' ringtone when I say this, but they've got a sort of screw penis. They actually do. They have like a screw. They've got to screw themselves into the females. So it's very strange. I'll have to look it up. But oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, it's actually true. Well, sorry, but they've got like a screw penis. Anyway, that's enough of that. I've got 14 people watching. I've got no idea who all of them are, and they could be young. Although it's good learning about nature, so there's nothing wrong about that. Anyway, Matthew says Greza to win. I think that's a great shout. I don't think you'll be far wrong. We'll have to see. I suppose it's all going to be about... Well, it could come down to the start, let's be honest. Yeah, I do well. Well, it's because I was a huge fan of QI when it first came out and watched it all the way through. So it got me into knowing useless stuff. Anyway, what I've been trying to say for about the last 3 minutes, I've probably only got about 2 minutes of a break left now. So I'm going to quickly grab myself a coffee, take a quick break. I'll be back with you very shortly. See you in a moment. Right, guys, I'm back with you. It's going to be difficult with a P10 start, says Ollie. Well, yeah, I mean, it's Monaco. I think most people will tell you, and I think we probably all agree on this actually. Generally, Monaco is one of those races. It's it's about survival, basically. You survive around here, particularly if you survive with no penalties. You're generally going to get good points. So I remember, Ollie, it's the point system changed for this season, so everybody who finishes scores points, and finishing inside the top 10 is really handy points, actually. It's be interesting. I was asked pre-race how many I thought would finish around here. I said 16. That was with, I think I thought there was going to be a 20-man grid, so because it's a 19-man grid, I'll change it to 15, but no, I won't actually. No, I won't. I'll stick with 16. I'll stick with 16. Because Grittas is the one missing, and Grittas probably would have been one of the ones that crashed, so yeah, I'll stick with 16. Sorry if you're listening, Grittas. Or if you watch it back. I hope your migraines getting better. Suffered with them myself a lot over the years and know how bad they are. But touch wood, not suffered for quite a while now. So Dark Mark thinks it's going to be 10 to finish. 12 to finish, says Ollie. Any other predictions? I will. I could have tried out. What are they doing? They got to do a formation lap, and it's too late now because I know a lot of the people watching will probably be the drivers. Well, no, actually, they're probably the ones that just left. To be fair. Right, let's get some details up for the start. So, I want all that. Yeah, I do. Right, let's have a quick look at the tyres then. So, see, that's spicy. Cammy's starting on the mediums, Grez is starting on the hards. So immediately, that makes it spicy, doesn't it? I guess Cammy's chosen that because he didn't want to leave himself open to a potential overtake off the start line. But, and now it's going to be Grez that needs to watch that from Shaz, I guess. So it is only a short run, isn't it, to the first corner around here, so there's not much room for manoeuvre. Interestingly, in 7th, Spreader's gone for mediums. I thought he would have gone for hards, if I'm honest. So, yeah, it's difficult, especially with the shouts gone out saying that safety cars are occurring around Monaco. That could really change strategies. Obviously, if a safety car comes out, everybody on mediums is going to dive in for the hards, aren't they? It's not going to be any. It's going to be a pretty obvious move. So then, here we come round. Sort of view is it going to give us for the start? Let's hope it's a good one. See, that sort of view, if the camera keeps coming back with us as he gets further towards his slots. A couple of drivers disqualified just towards the end there, Davis and Dre. No real issue. Maybe their tyres are a little bit cold. Start. There's yeah, for any of you that don't know, there is a glitch going around at the moment. Yet another one where people's tyres are resetting to 70 degrees on the start line when the formation lap ends. Again, I don't think it's one that's affecting everybody. But, some people being affected by that. As the lights begin to come on, let's get rid of that for the moment. All the lights on, and away we go. We head down to turn 1. And can everybody make it through? The top guys all do. It's a pretty good view further down, and it looks like everybody's gotten through turn 1. That's a good start. And a close fight in there between the McLaren and the Alpine. And McLaren gets very close to the Ferrari, but no contact made. There's your predicted strategy. So they're expecting pit stops to start around about lap 17. This is the one, isn't it? I think the Alfa Romeo just had a little tap on the back of the McLaren. But all apart from that, everybody seems to get through there okay. Very impressed. Very, very impressed, I have to say. Let's have a quick look at the position changes. So Shaz did get ahead of Greza at the start. So Greza won't mind. As long as Shaz can stay relatively close to Cammy, it won't be too much of an issue to Greza. Big D where he started. All these guys up for one. Shrek's actually dropped 4 places. That's a pretty hefty drop at the start of Monaco. Atkins has dropped 2. Dawdy's up 3. Mayor Jug up 4. He's our biggest gainer. And down 10 is Robbo. Unfortunately, that must be a spin. That's not just through position loss. Let's go to these guys in a way. All still pretty close. But at the moment, Kamarov is beginning to stretch a bit of a lead. He's picked up a second and a half already. That part of the track looks like nothing, does it? But it is important. Just need the DRS. As difficult as overtaking is around here, it's still important to try and stay within DRS of the car ahead. And as Greza would have expected, he's going to have to soak up some pressure in these early stages from the medium runners. And he's currently under hefty pressure from Big D and the Ferrari. And towards the end of lap 2, and DRS will activate on the next lap. So it's just the one DRS zone around here on the pit straight, so it's really, unless you are literally right up the gearbox of the car ahead, it doesn't really provide an overtaking opportunity. It's very easily defendable. And I think we've lost our first driver, and it's Shrek. Where is he? We've gone past him. He must have been off in a run-up. Unless his car had already disappeared. That's a Red Bull. Is he retired on track then, Shrek? Because Mayor Jug is going through the tunnel. So Shrek's retired on track. I have no idea what that's all about. And it's definitely not okay. That would definitely be looked at by the stewards as to why he's done that. It's not brought out a safety car, is the good news. But stewards would definitely look at that. And if he had some sort of damage or anything like that, he needs to have... Must make sure you clip it, Shrek, if you're listening. So, resume this battle in a way, and I'm just keeping an eye down the field. There is other battles going on. So you don't really expect overtakes going on anywhere in the field, so it's probably even more difficult than ever around Monaco to try and be on the right cars at the right time. Yeah, Matthew, very clean start. Very impressed. Very, very impressed. The driver down, but they've retired on track, and there you have it. It's Ollie makes up a place on Dark Mark. Never saw how he's done that. Oh, it's Dark Mark. Well, Dark Mark pits, and maybe he made a mistake. And sector 3 has maybe lost an end plate or something. Presumably, you go to hards. Let's just nip on tyres. And no, it looks like he's put a set of mediums on actually. just assumed he'd go to hards and look to stay out of trouble the rest of the race, basically. But actually, I must admit that Monaco is it is on. I do think. Well, I think on this year's game, it is a bit higher tyre wear than it has been in previous years. So I don't think around here it is just a case of saying you can swap to hards whenever you want. It's a bit more difficult than that, because it definitely is a bit more higher on the old tyre wear. Of course, previous seasons you wouldn't have touched hards. You just done soft to medium, basically every track. It's probably the biggest welcome additions to this game for me this season. It's been the strategies, because of the hards have just been better to use. Not many drivers fancied using them at all last season, and last game, but I was actually one of the few. I used them quite often, but a lot of drivers didn't like them. Just around the Gumbo, there was a little position change went on down here, and I'm just having a gander. Take a look here. Look, I'm on board with Lennon. Dodie doing a great job so far up into P13, and just give you an idea here of just how difficult it is to follow. Just to mention up the top, Cammy has got a near 3-second lead now to Shaz, but Shaz has been quick enough to get away from Greza as well. The gap to Greza is about 5 seconds, so it's pretty significant. I know Greza started on hards, and he, at some point he's going to get the tyre advantage come back his way, but it's probably a little while yet. I'm not sure on the exact amount of laps to expect, but I think it's about 22 laps on hards to 17 on medium, something like that. As a move happens elsewhere again, Atkins and Mayer swap positions, so Atkins up to P11. I hate to say it, guys, but there is every chance we might go through this whole race. You might have 10 overtakes happen on track, and I might miss all 10, because it's just so difficult to know where it's going to happen. Usually other tracks you can kind of guess to an extent. Maybe because you know the drivers, maybe because of the tyre difference, and maybe the other reason being DRS, of course, but it's not really a thing around here, DRS, so... just move on. And down at this one, where 3 cars have come close together, we've got a yellow in sector 3. I'm not entirely sure who that was. In fact, I've got absolutely no idea who that was. So, we'll move on. I looked down to where... Oh, it was Mayor Jug. That's who it was. And it looks like Mayor Jug has retired in the pit lane. So 2 retirements so far. One just a retirement on track, the other a retirement in the pit lane. And incredibly, they're both Red Bulls. Red Bulls could well be in trouble after this one. So I think there is one significant gap on the track at the moment between drivers, and I think for me, that gap is the gap between Ollie Champ in P7 and Davis in P8. 14 seconds separating those two drivers, and that has got to be the gap. I know when you're on track, unless you've got a mate that's willing to sit with you and sort of watch and see what else is going on, maybe watch the stream and help you that way. Not likely to know too much about what's going on, but in real life, your engineers and that would be looking. So if you're one of the top drivers that started on the mediums, that's the gap they'd be looking at putting you into when you pit, because to have the clean air. And, I'm not sure exactly how long a pit stop is around here. I don't think it's too long for Monaco. I think it's about 21 seconds ish. Continue to watch these three. This, I'll tell you what, it's great though, isn't it? So we've got the battles. This is a battle currently between Goomba, Robbo, and Dartmark for P14. Well, that could be significant. Kamarov picks up a 3-second penalty. That could be significant later in the race. And he's currently got a 3.3 second lead to Shaz, who is on the same strategy. Greza is effectively 10 seconds behind Kamarov at the moment, but of course is on the opposite strategy. And he'll of course be hoping that when Cammy pits, he comes out in some sort of traffic. But we'll have to see. I think at the moment, if Cammy pits, he will come out behind Ollie Champ in P7. So but I think Big D's, you know, just, I mean, he's done everything he can, but it's you know, he's just stuck basically behind Greza, and so we should be hitting that sort of point now where Greza's tyres are starting to become a bit better than the mediums. So it should be around about now, maybe 1 or 2 more laps, but should be pretty close to it. We may struggle a little bit to stay on the back of Greza. As the laps start to tick. I'm just trying to work out at the moment. Big D, when he pits, 3.5, 6.5. Ooh, more like 7 now. 7.8. Yeah, I think he should still come out ahead of Davis in P7 then. So, well, Davis in P8. So, if I'm right, it's about 20-21 seconds for a stop, and he should come out there. As Spreader is in. Okay, so Spreader's acting first, and this to me, this must be deliberate. He really needs to get out ahead of Davis here. Otherwise he's going to be stuck. He needed a wing. He needed a front wing. And that's going to mean he definitely doesn't come out ahead of Davis, so... Oh, this could hurt Spread. He's going to have a little bit of a gap. But it's not a big one to Atkins. And basically at the moment, Dre, Dark Lord and Atkins are stuck behind Davis in a train, and I think Spreader will pretty much be on the back of that train by the end of this lap. I don't think it's going to take long. He may need another lap just because he's got to heat the hards up, but yeah, yeah, and 2 of the drivers, so Davis and Atkins, are both on hard tyres, so they're still going to be going probably another 10 laps before even considering pitting, quite frankly. I didn't realise... Oh, yes, no, I did, didn't I? Yeah, Dartmark had to pit earlier on. We did see that, and he was put on a fresh set of mediums. So I think he went mediums to mediums, so still will need to pit again. But making his way back through the field somewhat, and pretty close now to the back of Lennon. Just say, really good to see Lennon back on track. Even by the fact he's got V3F1 in front of his name, I'm guessing that's where he's racing these days. So, it's a strange one, this. They're teammates for the night, of course, aren't they? They are, yeah, it is both Williams. So they are teammates for the night. But ultimately, Lennon, of course, doesn't have a full-time seat at the moment. He's a reserve driver, so... yeah, will he do the teammate thing and move out the way for Dartmark? Of course, all he will know is that Dartmark's on medium tyres. He won't know that they're younger tyres. You'd think he would assume that it's the tyres that Mark started on. Of course, they're not. He does get out of the way, though. Look, he does get out of the way, does Lennon. That's really good from Lennon. So he didn't need to do that. But, well, it shows his teammate credentials, though, doesn't it? For, you know, if a seat comes up and he's willing to do that for a teammate, he may have somebody actually requesting him. You never know. Stranger things happen. Just to mention, this is Atkins now, and if I look behind, that's Spreader there. So, I suppose have separated out a bit, actually. I think Davis is starting, like the other hard tyre starters, he's now starting to see a bit of an advantage for himself now, and he's been able to create a bit of a gap to the cars behind him now. Every seconds. Oh, look at Spreader. He's having a look. You can't blame him. He don't want to just sit there. He's got a championship to defend ultimately. So, Spreader's not the sort of driver. You're not going to see him sort of chuck a stupid one up the inside somewhere. He's not like that, Spreader. He'll wait his opportunity. If an opportunity comes up, he'll go for it, but he will wait for an opportunity, a genuine opportunity. He's not... you won't see him trying to send one up the inside when there's no gap there to do it. So Wally Champ is into the pits, and he's on the exit of the pits, and he's out. So Ollie comes out. Oh, look at that with Dre. Just in front of Dre. And splits Davis and Dre. And again, not totally ideal for Ollie, because he's going to end up on the back of Davis. I mean, Pittman really needed to be gapping enough to Davis to be able to get out ahead of him, really. But, of course, the guys racing said earlier on, unless they got someone sat there to do it for them and help them, they're not going to know that. Ooh, Atkins has a little bit of a moment. He catches the wall, and you got Spreader on the inside. Oh, no! Oh, Atkins has lost it. He's collected Spreader. I don't know if Spreader's got damage. Can't see any damage on Spreader's car. Unless there's, you know, floor damage, etc. Well, people do tell me that you can get... look at that. That's Atkins' car in the background there. People tell me you can get safety cars... Monaco. Well, where is it? Spreader's into the pits. Now, I couldn't see any visible damage on his wings, so what's this for? Oh, it is for a new front wing, but look, both end plates are on it, so... Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean... Ultimately, I don't really know. I don't know if there was a contact between the two drivers or whether Atkins just like, because that little kink in the, well, it is a right-hander really that's in the middle of the tunnel. It is low on the old traction. It's not easy around there as Cammy comes out just ahead of Spriggs, who started on the hard tyres. Cami's going to want to defend this. He doesn't particularly want to end up stuck behind the McLaren right now. Spriggs absolutely within his right to try and take the position if he can. As long as he does it fairly, of course. Due to the nature of the track. Spriggs just cannot get past, despite the fact that he's got a massive tyre advantage in the sense of Kamarov's got to get this up to temperature. And they'll still be struggling a bit, these hards. This is probably the only track of the season, apart maybe from Austria, where hards probably take more than a lap to heat up, actually, around here. As Shaz is in the pits. He's on X. It's coming close to exit. There is Kamarov. So Kamarov's got the first job done and has got back round. And out in front of Shaz. Now, it's going to be obviously, Shaz has now got to heat their tyres up, so this is the point now where Kamarov will probably gain quite a bit of time over the rest of this lap. A couple more pitters, Dre and Dark Lord pit in. Dark Lord having a very good race tonight. And yeah, Dark Lord completes the pit stop. Pit stop completed, and Dre. And they are out in 10 and 11. So on for very good races if they keep it up. So then, Greza leads, but has to pit, and the gap is only 3 seconds to Kamarov, who's already pitted. Kamarov does have a 3-second penalty, as we've got a little battle going on here. Oh, goodness me. It's between Ollie and Davis, as Ollie looks to get past Davis, who's getting towards the end of that stint now. So the question is going to be is once Greza goes on to the mediums, can he close the gap? But you've got to give it to Kamarov and Chaz, who have put in absolutely superb first stints. And I think, personally, Greza probably find it difficult to close those gaps. But his target at the moment, of course, would be Big D, who was pitted. And is got an absolutely beautiful clear road ahead of him. Driver ahead is 14 seconds up the road, but Greza's in. So reasonably early, a couple of laps earlier than expected. But I think that is in response. That is almost certainly in response to Big D, who is going to come out. Yeah, he is going to definitely come out in front of Big D. There's Big D. So, from just about see Greza in the distance there. Shadow of his former self. And now, Shadow, there you are. Just about caught a glimpse of the Scarlet Red Ferrari. So, obviously at this point, Greza in that position, he needs to get his tyres up to temperature. But the fact that they're mediums, that would be a lot easier than it was for the guys going on to hards. And I think once he's got them up to temperature, no offence to Big D, but I would expect Greza to sort of disappear in some distance then, and it's going to be about whether he can catch Shaz up. Right now, I think Cami is absolutely flying to victory at the moment, but obviously, as Murray Walker used to say, anything can happen in Formula 1, and it normally does. It's going to take us down to another battle that's occurring right now. This is for 8th place between Dodi Kaka and Dre. And this is a complete mismatch on tyres. Dre's 2-lap-old hards, Dodi's 19-lap-old hards. But what a race Dodi's having, by the way. Started down at the back. And so, yeah, Shaz has got a problem here because Shaz is on the back of Spriggs. Now, Spriggs should be pitting any time now. I think we did say, didn't we, that 22 laps on hard, 17 mediums was the pretty much what the game was suggesting. And this is lap 22 for Spriggs, so you'd expect him in the end of this lap, and I don't think he'd be wanting to go much further on them. He's, you know, ultimately the other drivers he's fighting with are pitted now, and he's gonna need to get that pit stop in to maximise his race. So yeah, I don't think for a second Spriggs is going to push this out too much more than he needs to. But Shaz, quite frankly, needs him to get out of the way because Shaz has already lost 4.5 seconds to Greza. Now, I didn't think Greza would catch Shaz, but I've changed my mind on that now. I think that probably means he will now. Basically, yeah, 6.6 seconds to make up. But anyway, Spriggs, brilliant, superb first stint. Big D goes through, but I don't think Ollie's going to. But doesn't matter too much, of course, they're teammates, so it doesn't really matter. And the McLarens running P5 and P6 are having a superb race. And we've got a yellow flag in. Oh, it's Lennon. Lennon on his return. So Robbo ghosted there, but that is because the car ahead is lapped him, so I think that's... I'm not sure who it is. So yeah, so basically every time Robbo gets so close to that car ahead, it makes him ghost. Makes him look like he's not there, but he is. I promise you. So Dodi making his pit stop, and he's going to come out P12 on the medium tyres. Nice stint to the end for Dodi. And he's had a really, really good race so far. I'm very impressed with Dodi today. I think his best race in PRF1 so far that I can remember. And it ended up being one of those really frustrating moments for... So is that the Ferrari then of operator? It is indeed. So that must be Davis then, right? That Aston? Yeah, it is. And he's coming into the pits, so he's getting out of the way. I think these guys would be happy about that. It wouldn't have been a nice situation for him to be in, driving around behind a car that's lapped them. Not really wanting to move ahead of them because they're putting them off. So if you're a lap car, you're absolutely within your rights to unlap yourself. But just if you don't want to put somebody off by doing it. That's always been my thing in a way. I don't put a driver off. As Davis then exits the pits in P10, and should see Spreader there. Yep, there's Spreader just behind. So that mark on the well, we got Dark Mark on the back of Dark Lord. Who, well, I'll say it again, Dark Lord's having a superb race for me. I think it's going to be really hard to pick a driver of the day today. I think Cammy has got to be in with a shout, but I very much put a lot of emphasis on staying penalty free, and he hasn't done that. I think Shaz has got to be in with a shout as well, and potentially Greza. If I think Greza, to have a chance to drive of the day, would have to get past Shaz for me. But there's so many. Spriggs has had a great race. Big D's done well. Ollie's had a great race. I know it's early doors yet. I'm maybe jumping ahead of myself thinking about driving the day, but unless something happens to make somebody really stick out, this could end up being one of the most difficult driver days I've ever picked, quite honestly. This is what this battle looks like at the moment. Look, they're having a four-way, and Spreader's on the back of it. It's not his teammate, is it? Sorry, it's Alpine, Aston Martin, Williams, and Alpine. But at the moment, there's not a lot Dark Lord could do to help Spreader unless Spreader can get ahead of the two ahead of him. And then Dark Lord, I'm sure, would be happy to move out the way. They are the Constructors' Championships, these two. Constructors' Champions, these two, Dark Lord and Spreader. See, last season with McLaren, this season with Alpine. I think, if you ask Spreader, I think he'd be... Spreader would be more interested in retaining that Constructors' Championship more than he would the drivers, to be able to do that with Dark Lord again. And this is not something that happens very often, but the reason why they're beginning to ghost is because Sergeant Kamarov is on the back of them, and believe it or not, Spreader is going to start getting blue flagged. He really should have been getting it. Well, yeah, you just saw it, didn't you? Just about saw the blue flag there. They're probably in a party chat together, these two, so Cammy is probably getting on to Spreader in the actual party chat. And I say, come on, lad, get out of the way. So, see, there's ghosting. Here he goes. He's going to go through this time. But, I bet they're having a laugh about that in the party chat at the moment. Well, I bet Cammy is in a way. Just don't let yourself crash because of it, Cammy. Whatever you do. Okay. Ouch as well. I'm guessing that was for the Master Spread one. No, nothing he could do there, Hydra. Thanks for joining, by the way, Hydra. Nice to see you on again. And I know, Hydra, if it's the incident that I think you're talking about, I don't know if there was contact or not. I really don't. Could have been, might not have been, I'm not sure. So, Cammy making his way through this traffic. So if ghosting's on, do you not have to abide by the blue flags then? I mean, I know drivers might do things like that. They might not necessarily literally pull out the way and let you through, because you could go through them, but will you not get a penalty for going through too many blue flags when ghosting's on? Does somebody know that that's in the chat? I'm not too sure. think that's to be fair to Spreader. I think it's a very, very mature performance. So, obviously, we don't know exactly what happened for him to lose his wing on when he had to pit on the first occasion, but we were right there after that when the collision happened. But you know, I just I like the fact that he's not trying to bully his way through the field. Spreader's not like that. He doesn't do that. It's part of the reason I like the league, actually, PRF1, because the drivers aren't like that. There are plenty of drivers out there, the fast guys that are usually at the top. When they find themselves down the field a bit, they do quite literally barge the slower drivers out the way, and it's just, it ain't on. So I have to take your eyes off this one. I just feel that if I go somewhere else to watch a different battle, that something will happen and we'll miss it. Watch it for like 5 laps and then miss it because I've moved. That's what usually happens. Gotta give it to Dark Lord. It can be. I mean, even though the drivers behind are driving extremely respectably, the Dark Lord here, it can still be, well, in my opinion, it can still be quite intimidating. But Dark Lord now finds himself on the back of Dre, so he's actually caught up to 7th place. So he's no longer the leader of the pack. Dre is now the leader of the pack. Oh, little nudge there. Dark Lord. Little nudge on Dre. Suddenly, Dark Lord finds himself having been the lead driver of the pack. Suddenly now has to drive around with a car in front of him, and his braking points have probably changed suddenly after doing lap after lap, braking at the same place all the time. So a little mention, actually, you may need to move from this, guys. There is a battle that's developed further up between Big D and Spriggs. So yeah, I think we just nip to this one because Spriggs, you can see the other Ferrari there of operator. They've just gone past the lap, but this is a battle where Spriggs does have the tyre advantage at the moment on 8-lap mediums over 14 laps hard. So I'm hence the reason I'm inclined to move to this one rather than staying on the other battle, which is why I give it about 30 seconds and I expect an overtake lap in the other battle because I've come off of it. Look how actually I've only just realised, but look how clear these guys are of the ones behind them. The performance from the top 6 really, it's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal tonight. Quite frankly, every single driver that is still on this track has performed phenomenally, but I don't know how to do it. I'd need at least 3 wings by now. The last time I actually did Monaco, I came in for a new front wing, and going out on the pit exit, I hit the wall. Had to pit the next lap as well for another one. The wall comes out a little bit on the pit exit, and I didn't realise, and I went smack straight into it and lost my end plate. So I think if you needed any sort of And look at this. So this is yeah. I tend to drive with. Ooh, I think I got a little bit close that time. Getting a little bit of lag actually on my sprigs. I don't know whether it's Freak's car or Big D's car. It's, or me. Could be me as well, so don't worry too much. Anyways, we really get towards the later laps now, and there'll be a... At this point, the drivers will look up at the lap counter and they'll be both thinking, oh, thank goodness there's only like 6 laps left, but at the same time, they'll still be thinking, how is there still 6 laps left? It seems to go on forever. It's imagine doing it 100%. It is why they. Well, you've got to give it to the real life drivers. How they get around this circuit, I will never know. I think we've had a couple of little contacts between these two, but as I said, there does seem to be a little bit of lagging going on, which is that could be a little bit of a problem at some of the open circuits, let alone going around a track like this. If there's a bit of that going on, you can never be sure where the car ahead of you is. Or the car behind you, for that matter. It's not nice being the car ahead or behind in that situation. Probably worse being the car behind, but right either way. You're just nipping down the spreader because the gap went to under a tenth that time. So Davis did still retain the position. Ultimately, at the moment, spreader would gain the position. But, I said something happened, didn't I? I said something would happen on this group if I left them. And Dark Lord has gotten into P7 ahead of Dre. What a race he's having. I think my mind's made up on driver of the day if it all stays as is right now. I don't think anybody's going to change my mind on that one, although... Yeah, I think because the front two have both got penalties, I think that's where we're heading at the moment. But let's see what happens in the last sort of 5 laps. Ooh, who's the fastest lap at the moment? That's a good question. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong bit. There we go. Fastest lap is Spriggs at the moment in the McLaren 1:12.4. So, and well, unless somebody with one of the big gaps, and there is a few, so we could well see a late switch to softs from drivers as Dark Mark gets very close to the back of Dre and actually gets past. So Dark Mark gets past Dre, and Davis is having a look as well. He's going to look to outbrake into the hairpin, gets through as well. Can Spreader follow? Don't know what's wrong with Dre. It's like his tyres have I don't know, it is like his tyres have just dropped off, but sure, we've got another car. Yeah, this, I think that's Greza actually. I think, yeah, it is. That's Greza. Look, so again, that's why Dre's ghosting, I believe. You can never quite tell as a commentator, or when Greza's picked up 3 seconds as well. Yeah, there are some gaps there, so we may see some late pitters to go to softs. The Spreader picks up a penalty as well. Spriggs still. So this sort of battle, as they've all sort of gotten past Dre, is kind of dissipated now, and that's still Greza bringing out those blue flags at the moment. Sure, Spreader's not appreciating too much being lapped by Cammy and Greza, because he's probably thinking, oh, I'm going to get it in the net for the next week. But it is what it is. So it can easily happen around here. So let's go back to this one then. Good race. I've actually enjoyed this, I have to admit. Well, I've not caught as many of the the little on-track moments as I would have liked. There's our pitter to softs, Robbo. Appears to be the only one that's done it, from what I can tell. Do you need obviously you need an outlap. Ollie's in. Ollie's in, so I think Ollie's doing it. Yeah, so I think Robbo potentially did it too early. You need to, so you've got to pit the end of lap 37, basically. In Robbo's case, because he's a lap down, he needs to do it at the end of lap 36. So, yeah, actually, it makes sense. It does make sense. So, sticking with these two remain our really close battle. It looks to me like it's going to go to the end. But Ollie is going to have a fastest lap battle with Robbo then. And it does look like they are the only ones. I think that's it now. I don't think anybody else can pit. Oh, look at this. Goodness me. Got to give it to Big D and you. The pressure he's been under here to keep the lead over the McLaren. Oh, as the McLaren runs out wide in turn 1. Mistake there from Spriggs, and that probably means he's lost any opportunity now. He's got a car behind him, but he doesn't have to, that's actually Robbo who's going for the fastest lap. Not ideal for Robbo, actually. He's going for the fastest lap, and now he's got a ghosted car stuck out of him. See who gets that, but anyway, let's move to Kamarov as he comes across the line and wins in Monaco. And a little bit of a weight down to Shaz, but what a fantastic win from Kamarov. Dominant in Monaco, absolutely dominant. But massive congratulations to Shaz on their first PRF1 podium. And an absolutely brilliant drive as well. Greza is always up there whenever he drives, and it's yet another visit to the podium. So they're the three that I'm going to be speaking to. All Xbox, I'm glad to say. So it'll be very easy to do. Big D will be next then. With Spriggs. Did catch right back up to the back of him. Had a little sprint for the line as well, and he actually ended up just over a 10th off. Very close. But Big D does take P4, Spriggs P5, Ollie Champ P6, Dart Lord P7, Dart Mark P8, Davis 9, Spreader in 10 then. Not a great day for our champion, but what a race. Absolutely brilliant race at Monaco, superb. There's going to be a couple of questions asked, but as to a couple of the retirements, but ultimately I think that's a huge success, and thank you, Matthew. And yeah, absolutely flawless from Kamarov. Well, apart from the penalty, that is why he's not getting my driver today, because he picked up a penalty, but also because I think Dark Lord did an absolutely superb job. I think Big D deserves it as well, because the defence he had to put up on that second, the last about, what was it, about 10, 12 laps, something like that. I think Spriggs was absolutely phenomenal as well. So, yeah, my driver today, in a way, will be Dark Lord, who was, quite frankly, in my opinion, had the best race I've ever seen him have. So, to do that in Monaco, and to be followed the way he was and put under pressure in exactly the same way Big D was from Spriggs, to be put under pressure lap after lap after lap the way that he was, Dark Lord, until he finally got a bit of respite after he got past Dre, was absolutely superb. So, well worthy driver of the day in my opinion. Spriggs' fastest lap stood, so Ollie and Robbo didn't manage to take fastest lap after going to softs, so Spriggs keeps the fastest lap. There's the positions, and just scroll through the incidents so that the stewards have got them in case they need them. And back to there. So Dawdy as well. Congratulations, Dawdy. Well done, mate. Finished at Monaco, and a very well-deserved P12 from you as well. So well done to you. Right, let's get the top three in. So I don't know if Shaz knows about the interviews afterwards, but about to get an invite. So Cammy, here we go. I do have to turn the I nearly went to spread them because I'm so used to doing it. Greza. And Shaz. There we go. Oh, Wally, you didn't get to attempt the fastest lap. Did you pit a lap too late? Sorry, was that everybody then? Yeah, that's everybody. Yeah, just give me a second. I'll sort it. It's fine. Don't worry. Right, there we go. No, no, no. I got my little. I got my little secrets. All right. I don't. Yeah.
You've got your ways.
Who said he beat Shaz by 40 laps? That's what he said to camera.
Did he? Did he really?
Right. Grez. Greza, I'm going to come to you first as P3. Well done, mate. They got sort of way too far up the road on the first stint for you to do anything about it, I think. But well done for P3. Always difficult around there, but you had a really good race. Put up with some really good pressure from Big D early on as well, which was some nice racing. So well done. Yeah, was it all easy then for podium?
Definitely not. No, I mean, I started hard. I kind of misread the race a little bit. I thought, being round here, if someone's in your pit window, fifth or sixth behind, you don't really want to pit and get stuck behind them. That's why I started hard, but I kind of misread it a little bit because Jack and that all got the gap to anyone really that would have held them up. So, and I had to Big D actually forced me to pit a bit earlier than I wanted to because I had to keep the track position on him. So I took the mediums a bit longer than I would have wanted, but yeah, I've kind of lost one position from that because Shaz got me on the off the start, but it's not too bad to be honest. P3 Monaco. I tend to go a little bit like 90% in the race at Monaco, so that's where these guys can keep the pace up around Monaco for that many laps and not get damaged. Is quite amazing.
Yeah, unless they're doing the same thing and they're just really, really fast. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you do great just being at 90%, mate. That's a lot more than I do. Anyway, Shaz, huge congratulations. First PRF1 podium. Absolutely brilliant race. I don't know what else to say, really. You did really, really well. I thought after the pit stops came out, there was a moment there you got held up a bit, and Greza took about 4.5 seconds out of you in like one lap, and I thought, oh wow, I think that might actually it could cost you P2, but you maintained the gap pretty easily after that. To be fair, Shaz, are you there? I'm talking to myself, aren't I? Shaz.
I think what happened was I had the minor wing damage on that last stint as well, so I was struggling. I just thought it's hard to get home as well, to be honest.
Right, okay, no worries. All right. Sorry, guys at home, we're having technical difficulties and we can't get Shaz right now. Okay, so on to our race winner, Cammy. Superb performance, mate. I can't fault that at all. One little blip is that you picked up a penalty, but didn't matter obviously. But
Two.
yeah, two penalties. Yeah, sorry. But yeah,
Yeah,
ultimately didn't matter. You drove absolutely superbly and thoroughly deserved a victory. So well done. So what won it for you other than pace? Obviously, what won it for you?
Briggs. It will be getting me 20 quid. Thank you very much. Nah, I mean, I was very worried at the end of the medium stint, to be honest, because Chaz was catching me pretty consistently. Oh, he's there.
Oh, that is
Let's
better.
do him then.
Yeah.
You go first.
Did you
Go on.
unmute yourself? It's all right. It's all right. No, I'll finish with camera off first and then come back to you then, Shaz. So, all right then. Sorry, carry on, camera off.
Yeah, as Shaz was catching me towards the end of the mediums, I decided to put a lap earlier because why the fuck not? It turned out to actually be quite a really good, a good undercut, but he was really unlucky with being caught by the McLaren and lost probably about a good 10 seconds from it.
Yeah.
I thought
Which,
you'd made a mistake there, you know. I thought he was going to overcut you. I know what ties
yeah,
are around here.
Yeah.
but I mean, probably kind of won me the race that, but I don't know. I mean, the pace on the hards, I think I was a little bit quicker, but you never know if it was closer, what would have happened. So
Yeah.
yeah, been a good
Absolutely.
race. First win
It's
this season as well, so that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Still right there in the championship. Hopefully you can keep that going as well. And obviously not such a great day for Spreader today as well. So I'm sure you'd have thoroughly enjoyed lapping him. So just a quick word on that, or a quick word to Spreader on that.
I said in the party, do you remember when Lando waved to Daniel Ricciardo?
That was very nice, I have to say. It was a very fulfilling moment, let's say, when your
Yeah.
lap spread. It's
Drove
very nice.
you drove straight through him on stream, mate. It's lovely.
Oh, that's good.
Shaz, then, yeah. So huge congratulations, first podium in PRF1. Drove an absolutely superb race. As I think you heard me say, there's Cammy. I think you've just got caught behind Spriggs after the pit stop, but ultimately it's P2 at Monaco, which is absolutely awesome. So yeah, well done, man. Do you think, without being held up by Spriggs, do you think you'd have had enough pace to put Kamarov under trouble on the hards? Yeah, yeah. He just nips ahead of you, Spriggs. Just you're coming out the pits, and where you actually exited, it looked like the the overcut worked for you. It looked like it did narrow the gap down. Of course, you'd have had a good lap there. They're trying to heat your tyres up, so you probably would have lost a bit of it. But yeah, unfortunately, Spriggs just nipped past just as you were coming out the pits. But no, yeah, yeah. Um, Away from the top guy, I've got to actually give Spreader a little shout out because quite often when your top drivers in leagues end up further down the field, they can go into a bit of a tilt mode and start launching it everywhere. Spreader doesn't do that, and I have to say he drove really well further down the field. There was a moment with Atkins, but which meant he had to pit a second time. But yeah, it was just good. It was good to see him not. He ended up on the back of a train of four cars, and he didn't try lobbing it up the inside at one of the corners or anything. So shout out to him for that. Other than that, the other thing to do as a driver of the day, which well, you guys will know, I tend to give it to somebody who doesn't pick up a penalty, but actually, if you watch the string back, it's so obvious come the end who the driver of the day is, and that is Dark Lord. So congratulations, Dark Lord, who came 7th after starting 15th on the grid.
Yeah, I'll give him
So
that.
yeah,
He was proper worried as well in the party beforehand as well.
he was
I
absolutely
hate this
brilliant.
Red was like, calm down, Andy, you got this. It's hilarious. At least he coached him to V7, I'll give him that.
Yeah, yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. He ended up he was getting followed by 3 cars. Spreader was at the back of it, and you got Dark Lord at the front and 2 cars in between. And he's just put up with this pressure lap after lap after lap. But gradually they've been catching Dre ahead of him, and they catch Dre, and he gets ahead of Dre, and then pulls out a gap to the group that's been following him for ages, and took 7th. So penalty free as well. So yeah, superb from Dark Lord tonight. Anyway, well done to you, top 3. Where are we next week, Greza? You know these things.
Zandvoort.
Zandvoort.
Oh, Holland. Do we like Zandvoort, guys?
No.
I remember. Do you remember last season's game when there was 7 finishes? I don't know if it's much of a death trap this year. I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think it's changed too much. But it's yeah. I don't know. I've had some good races around there. I quite enjoy it. But yeah, we'll have to see. It can be quite safety car laden though, so we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, it could affect strategies and stuff. So in a way, all right then. Well, thanks to everybody that's kept me entertained on the stream and watched along with us. The chat's been awesome. So we've had some good laughs in there, including talking about ducks' penises and stuff. So that's been awesome. Well entertained. Join us next week for Zandvoort. So 8:30 next week. For myself, I'll be back to not tomorrow night, Saturday tomorrow, Sunday night for WRL and HRF1 at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. And so I'll see you then. But PRF1 back 8:30 next week for Zandvoort. Thanks, guys. Good night. God bless.